believe us when we said that this was our soundtrack?
All the time.
All the time. We are in our current campsite until this coming Thursday. We're going to be moving to Newport News City Park for a couple days, and then we are going to head into the Williamsburg Thousand Trails. This Thousand Trails is right next to our old neighborhood, but we are going to our neighborhood to visit some friends, and we wanted to just pop into that Thousand Trails and kind of drive around and get the lay of the land. It's not something we've actually been able to do before, because normally, you know, we're traveling 2 or 3 hours to get to the campground, so we roll in there kind of blind. We'll look at maps online, and we'll kind of get a sense of what we're driving into if there are maps available online. So we're going to walk you through what we look for when we're picking out a campsite. We'll point out some things that we like to avoid. We'll point out some things that we prefer when picking out a site. So we'll just kind of walk you through the whole process and our thought process on it. Maybe that'll help you next time you guys roll into a campground. So let's go get ourselves in the gate and see what we see. All right, here we go. We are coming up to the Thousand Trails Williamsburg. It's a pretty popular Thousand Trails, actually. There's a lot of like full-time families here right now. I've seen a lot of activity on Facebook. So let's go ahead and get up to the gate here, and we'll get ourselves buzzed in.
Hi, we're going to be coming in later next week, and we just kind of wanted to get a lay of the land. Thank you so much.
That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just going to drive around and see what we see.
It's very hilly here.
Yeah.
We'd come here before we even got the RV, I think.
Yeah. And
just to kind of look and see what a campground looked like.
We actually visited all of the local campgrounds.
We did.
Yeah.
And I remember this being really hilly, so
yeah.
I'm kind of glad we're checking it out.
We've encountered some pretty gnarly campgrounds, so this will be nothing. So it's a little hilly and full of trees up front here. I think it's full of trees all over, actually.
I think it is full of trees. At the gate it said to follow the white arrows to the registration at the main clubhouse. So this is the way we have to go when we come in. So I'm just going to follow that, and then we can ride around from there. Kind of figure out how close it is in here. It's kind of tight in here.
Yeah.
There are some big rigs in here though, so bigger than we are.
One of the things we like to look for is the placement of trees, especially on a site. Maybe we'll stop at a couple empty sites and do like a quick run through of the things we look for. So registration is right here. So when we get here, like this guy is sitting here waiting to check in. When we get here, we have to come to this building and just kind of like pull in out of the way, and then we'll be able to. We'll get a map, we'll get all of our paperwork, and then we'll kind of roll through and find a spot. So
those look like pull-through spots over there.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So we definitely like pull-throughs. First and foremost, we like to get 50 amp and sewer if possible.
Yes.
So 50 amp is the higher powered plug, which allows us to run basically everything we have whenever we want to. If we get a 30 amp site, we have to kind of juggle like air conditioning and the microwave and the washer and dryer and stuff like that. So we like 50 amp. Full hookups means we have sewer, and which means we can run our laundry, and we can also stay on that spot for a lot longer without our tanks filling up. So there's a couple pull-throughs here.
Yeah, this isn't bad. This is a...
What do we got?
We're back here in with all of the cabins.
Yeah, a lot of these campgrounds have cabins, and they tend to take up some pretty good spots.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So this one's a pretty good spot. It's a straight shot in. It's not any weird angles.
Yeah.
You might have to check the other side for getting out.
Yeah.
But there's all the hookups are right here. There's space to open up all the slides. There's a picnic table over there, and it's kind of a big space.
Here,
kind of spread out there.
Hold it out and talk to it.
So this spot's not too bad. It's a lot of trees, but I think we're going to be in trees anywhere we're here, and we're here for 3 weeks. So we'll have to kind of keep that in mind. But nice spot. I like that one.
So when it comes to pull-throughs, which is basically you drive into the spot like you're pulling through a parking site, and one trick with pull-throughs is can you get back out the other side? we've actually had to pull into pull-throughs and then back out of them.
Which we might have to do with this one.
Which, yeah, so this one over here, it looks like coming out of here because of the cabins, and there's a little bit of a hill on the other side.
Yeah.
It looks really tight because we have to pull through and pull out pretty wide because we're 37 feet long, and hooked up to the truck we're 62 feet long. So that takes a little bit of room to maneuver. So a lot of cabins through here.
It's hard to know, like, sometimes it's hard to know who is here permanently.
Yeah.
Or for a long period of time.
Sometimes it's really easy to tell.
It's really easy to tell. That's
If
true.
they have a porch, or if they have a like wooden staircase built up to the front of their rig, that's a pretty good indicator.
These sites don't look very level back
Not
to
at
front.
all. Not at all. That guy's up on like 5 2x4s.
Yeah, so we don't want that.
Yeah, so aside from trees, the next thing we look
This
for
one's
is
not bad.
level.
We would have to bring the nose down quite a bit, but
yeah.
it's a nice, like, pull-through kind of spot.
Yeah. So one thing that concerns us with getting level is because we're in a travel trailer, we basically have 2 points to get level, front to back. Side to side we can do pretty much anything we need to, but front to back, we have where the axles are, so where the tires are hitting the ground, and then we have where the tongue jack comes down. And if it's too far up or down, we can't do it. There's not much we can do to like keep adding or taking away distance, especially going down. Tongue jack only goes down so far, and then it's on the ground. And we've gotten that low once or twice, and it's fine. It's better than going up really high.
True.
But there's a limit. Like, we can only go down so far. So if the site has a lot of slope from front to back, then we just plain can't fit in it. Like, we've actually had to leave campgrounds before because the site we were assigned there was no way to level, and that was the only site. So
Right.
we just move on. Not a big deal.
So there's a lot of big rigs in these spots, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking this might be a better bet for us up in here if we can get into them.
There are some very tight spots in here. Look, so there's a lot of trees around here.
These are pull-throughs, though.
Yeah, Class A's and Class C's don't have to worry about trees as much. What I run into, because I'm towing, is I will be backing into a spot and I need room for the truck to swing around in front of the trailer. So there have been multiple times where there's been a tree across the road that has stopped me from getting into a site because I don't have room to bring the truck around. So that's one thing we look for, is trees not only on the edges of the site, which are actually pretty avoidable, it's the ones across the street that can be a pain. Now this is a good example of a site that slopes way too much.
Yeah.
You probably can't see this on camera very well, but the back end of that site is really high and the front end is really low. So there's only so far that we can bring the nose of the trailer up. So if we were to back into that site, there's probably no way we could get level front to back.
Yeah, and we have to be level front to back.
Yeah. One of the main reasons you want to be level is comfort, because you don't want to be walking around in a rig that's like an inch down side to side or front to back, because you're going to feel like you're walking uphill or on the side of a hill the whole time. And then when you lay down in bed, it's going to feel like you're rolling sideways, and it's just bad. In addition to that, from a technical standpoint, your refrigerator in your RV will not operate properly if it's not as level as you can get it, because of the way the refrigerant sits inside of the refrigerator. And also your slides, you can do damage to your slides if you run them out when you're not level, because even like an inch off level, you're going to be applying a lot of torque to the rails and the motor, and that's going to do a lot of damage really quickly. So we've opened up a little off side to side and front to back every once in a while. Like if we're stopping at a rest stop, we'll get as close to level as we can. If we're not less than an inch off level, we will not open up the slides though, because we don't want to damage it. It's not worth the risk to just open a slide for a little while. If we were to roll in here right now with our rig, we would not pick any single site that was open.
Nope.
This does not look good, because we're supposed to be coming in here next Sunday.
And staying for 3 weeks.
Staying
here.
for 3 weeks, and effectively, I mean, today is Sunday,
Yeah.
so it's after checkout. So the sites that are available, in theory, could be the ones that are available
next
weekend, and none of them fit us.
We might have to reassess
Yeah.
where we're staying between now and Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because this is going to be so convenient to being near friends and family.
Yeah. Yeah. We both remembered as we've been driving around. We both remembered when we came in here last year. It was before we actually had the RV, like Aaron said earlier, and it looked a little tight and windy and full of trees and hills. And now that I've parked our RV 104 times, half of this park I wouldn't drive into. I mean, some of these corners and some of these streets I wouldn't even want to come around, so let alone try and squeeze into some of these sites, and there's so many of them are really hilly. This is a really popular park, and we're not able to see why. I mean, the location is fantastic.
The location's awesome, and that's probably why.
Yeah,
but
man, these sites are rough. Like the campground we're in now is like dead flat all over.
It's wonderful.
And
I like
the campground we're in now is great. It's an hour away from everything we were planning on doing here.
Yeah.
So crap.